Hello, my wonderful people, viewers and subscribers all over the world. Good afternoon to you all, good morning, good evening, depending on where you are at this point in time. Hear this breaking news. This one is coming all the way from Finland by the agitator who is a Finland-based politician and also who is agitating for the people of Biafra. I beg you. Who is fooling who here? Well, before I proceed, let me tell you or let me pronounce this breaking news. Simon Ekpa, who is a politician and based in Finland, he is not a politician in Nigeria but a Finland politician, declares IPOB sit at home for Igbos in Lagos. The question here is, I am not instigating anybody, neither am I here to castigate anybody, but the question here is, who is fooling who? If this guy truly believes that this Nigeria or Biafra can work again, I don't see the reason why being a politician in another man's land, a dual citizen for that matter, and he is out there causing problem to the people in Nigeria. I don't say agitating is not a problem, but if you so much desire and you believe in this country called Biafra, that you are agitating for, that you claim to be working for, then what makes you to be a dual citizen in another man's land? That is the first question. The second question, you are a politician in Finland, yet you are making us to believe that you so much trust and believe in Biafra. How does that thing work? You cannot serve the devil and God. You must choose one to serve. It's either you belong to the Biafra or you belong to the Finland government or to the Finland politics that you are playing. I know people will come to my comment section to attack me, but I don't care. The truth needs to be told. This guy called Simon Ekpa is not what people think he is. Quote me right anytime, any day, and I will give you instances. You have contested an election, a county, either chairman or councillor or whatever in Finland. I don't know whether you failed or you win. You have been among the Finland soldiers before you decided to retire. Yet, you are making us to understand or believe that you so much love this Biafra and you are working for them. Yet, you have a dual citizenship. You have one hand, you have a Nigerian passport. The other hand, you have Finland passport. What about Biafran passport? I am very, very sure you don't have it. Yet, our people are foolishly following you for just making comments on the internet. Come down to Nigeria, let us rub all this in together. You say no. You are out there causing confusion in Biafra land. Simon Ekpa, be warned. Another breaking news we have here. The UK High Court, they don't come out now and begin to question why Nigerian government renditioned Kanu to Nigeria after how many years. UK High Commission to Nigeria that the woman is nearly to expire is the one that came out openly and tell us that we should be proud of the 2023 February election, the presidential election. That we should be proud. How much did they pay this woman to do this? I know a lot of water has passed through the tunnel. But how much did they pay this woman that is nearly to exit this earth to come out and vomit such atrocity from her mouth? That we should be proud and accept it. Despite the fact he said there is some ups and downs, but Nigeria should be proud. Something that even in a locality in UK can never ever, I repeat, can never ever accept such as an election, such sham as an election, such daylight robbery as an election. But this woman opened her gutter to tell us that we should accept it the way we see it, that we should be proud of the election. Now you people just wake up to question Nigeria why they would rendition Kanu to Nigeria from Kenya after Kanu spending closely to 2 years in the DSS dungeon. Well, I have nothing to say, but our people need to wake up, because the UK that you people think that they are with us 100%, they are against Nigeria and they are against Biafra. Let's call a spade a spade. UK is working against this highly blessed country because they have nothing. If UK have 50% of the mineral resources that Nigeria have, or even not even Nigeria, that one state in Nigeria have, now UK would have be the one to sustain and hold the world power today, but they don't have it. So tell me, how are they going to work for you? Tell me, how are they going to be working or to be praising you for your mineral resources? Rather, they'll be doing things that will make sure that the Nigeria of today, of yesteryears, of tomorrow will never wake up from where they find themselves. Anyway, let's see what happens. Simon Ekpa send a message again to Igbos living in Lagos State. Another breaking news: ex-minister don react to as a prophet, don come out to come predict, say na Peter Obi na him see o wey dey go swear in as a Nigerian next president. Say he no see Tinubu as Nigeria president. Though the ex-minister don come out to come the para, say who give am that moral, who tell am to talk. Another breaking news again. Another one who is killing us again is in Nigeria. I don't know the deal here come to cement again. These are the problems we have in Nigeria. UK still remain top problem that Nigerians are having till tomorrow. Ex-British Prime Minister Boris Johnson visit Nigeria, backs fight against terrorism, banditry. The photos is out there for the general public to see. So my good people, I don't want to take up much of your time. I want us to go straight into the business of this day because I the para concerning this man called Simon Ekpa. He is causing confusion in Nigeria while he is busy doing his own politics in Finland, and he wants us to be following him like a sheep without a shepherd. Enough is enough. If you never subscribe to my channel, or this is your first time of hearing my voice, I want you to hit that subscription button, turn on the notification button so that you will be notified each time we go live or post something new on this channel or any other channel related to Okute Daily Talk. Please hear this word of advice. Enough, a word is enough for the wise, and enough is enough for all this confusion that this Simon Ekpa is bringing to us. We don't like what is happening in Nigeria. Neither do we enjoy the company of the Nigerian state. We want our freedom fine and good. But this man is not anyone. He is far away to be fighting for freedom for the Biafrans. Leaders, they live by example. You don't live in another man's land where you enjoy every immunity, where you enjoy the light 24 hours uninterrupted. You enjoy water, and yet you will tell people to sit in their homes while your business of Facebooking, Twittering, and YouTubing is paying you, and your wife is doing business, and you want people out there with the scarcity of naira, with the high cost of things in the market. If they don't go out on a daily basis, they will not get what they eat. Yet you want them to sit at home. Who is fooling who? Please, in case you're wondering who is here, my name still never changed. I am Amandia Neze Okute, speaking from the platform of Okute Daily Talk, where we speak to you the undiluted truth. This Obonga channel, where you will hear from here, is truth and nothing but the truth. We don't paint words, and we don't beg anybody to stay. If you want to hear the truth, continue following this page, because what you will hear or the news you will hear from this platform is from the right source. I don't propaganda. So let us go straight into the business of the day. Please, I want you to tighten your seatbelt while we proceed with the real business. Finland-based self-acclaimed member of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Simon Ekpa, has declared a sit-at-home order for Igbos residing in Lagos State over an alleged attack on them. In a social media post on Tuesday, Ekpa said the sit-at-home exercise is necessary to cripple the economy of Lagos State government. He assured Igbo marketers and traders in Lagos that there will be a maximum security for them during the exercise, even as they prepare to move their businesses to the eastern region of Nigeria. Ekpa stressed that the sit-at-home order affects every Biafran doing business in Lagos, adding that the attack on Igbos in the southwest state is making him sad. Ekpa's tweet reads, "I've just watched another Igbo Biafran market in Lagos being burned down in Balogun, Lagos today. And I am very sad. Since the election, Igbo Biafrans in Lagos and their businesses have been attacked. And as I have said earlier, we can't sit back and watch as Biafrans in Lagos will be getting ready to return home with their businesses. To this end, we will activate sit at home for all Biafrans in Lagos. This sit at home is targeted at crippling the economy of the Lagos state government, whose body language has suggested to be directly responsible for the attack against Igbos. I therefore call on all Igbo market leaders in Lagos that we are ready to provide securities for all Igbo markets in Lagos, and pending when the businesses will be moved to the eastern region. We will fortify all of your market against attackers. The underground work will start immediately. ESN, Eastern Security Network. The sit at home, when activated, is applicable to every Biafran doing business in Lagos, both shop owners, commercial bus drivers, etc. Nigeria News record that the self-proclaimed disciple of the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, rose to prominence in July of 2021 after he was announced as the lead broadcaster of Radio Biafra. Ekpa has been involved in a series of controversies with the leadership of the Biafra group. The Nigerian government has also frowned at his broadcast, which is said to be inciting and causing unrest in the southeastern part of Nigeria. It could be recalled that shortly after his appointment, IPOB announced Ekpa's disengagement because of his refusal to sign the rules of engagement in the operation of the radio station. However, Ekpa has consistently pledged allegiance to Kanu and support for Biafra agitation, despite heading a faction of IPOB called Autopilots. He was recently arrested and released in Finland. UK High Court frowns at Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's rendition to Nigeria after over 2 years. Shame to UK and their government. The British High Court has frowned against the rendition of leader original people of Biafra IPOB Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria. Nigeria News report that a statement by the special counsel to Nnamdi Kanu, Aloy Ejimako, disclosed the UK High Court made an unconventional ruling in a significant human rights case centered on Kanu, who is a British national. He said the court also highlighted extras from the opinion of the UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention and the Nigerian courts, which unanimously found that Kanu was subjected to extraordinary rendition. It also called for the immediate release of IPOB leader and compensation by the Nigerian and Kenyan government for the way he was treated. He said, whilst Mr. Justice Swift noted that the findings of the UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention and the two separate rulings from Nigeria High Court and the Court of Appeal noted that Kanu had been extraordinarily rendered to Nigeria following his interception in Kenya by Nigerian security forces, and observed himself that Mr. Kanu had been subject to rendition. He went on to hold that the Foreign Secretary was legally entitled to make no decision on whether this is the case or not. Benman's LLC, the legal team acting for Mr. Kanu's family, described the ruling as extremely difficult to reconcile with long-standing legal precedent and the principle underpinning it, according to the news. Mr. Kanu's case was heard over 4 months ago on 15 November of 2022. In today's judgment, Mr. Justice Swift noted that the evidence of serious wrongs having been committed against Mr. Kanu, including that in 2017, the Nigerian state had attempted to kill Mr. Kanu, for which a Nigerian High Court awarded compensation and an order for an apology. That the Nigerian authorities captured Kanu in 2021 while he was in Kenya and subjected him to inhuman and degrading treatment, and crucially that he was subjected to extraordinary rendition. However, despite clearly recognizing the gravity of the wrongs committed against Mr. Kanu, the court disappointedly held that Mr. Kanu has no legitimate expectation that the British government should reach a firm view for itself on what had occurred or its seriousness. This is particularly surprising given that the court itself reached the view that Mr. Kanu had been rendered on the basis of evidence before it. The court judgment is unsatisfactory not just for Mr. Kanu and for any British national who find themselves subject to a serious violation of their rights while abroad. It effectively enables the Foreign Secretary to prevaricate or to prevaricate indefinitely in the face of such a violation and consequently limit the steps the British authorities should take to assist a British national, even in circumstances where there is no equivocal evidence of that violation. The UK High Court has now joined the Nigerian High Court and Court of Appeal and the United Nations in recognizing correctly that Kanu was subject to extraordinary rendition. That is something of importance. But I find it very disappointing that in spite of this, the High Court has held that the British authorities are not required to reach a decisive view on his rendition and can refuse to confront the mass of evidence of what has occurred. Until the British authorities reach such a view, it is impossible for them to properly consider that what steps should be taken to assist my brother, according to the news. Ms. Shireen Maka said, despite taking 4 months to decide this case, the High Court has produced a judgment that is extremely difficult to reconcile with long-standing legal precedent and the principle underpinning it, which is that British citizens abused abroad are entitled to expect a decisiveness and protection from the British government rather than years of unrelenting procrastination, according to news. Can't you see it? Can't you see what these people are doing? Go closing to 2 years now. They are still procrastinating. Well, I know they finish. Simon Ekpa, he don't send message you give all the whole Igbos living in Lagos State. The self-acclaimed factional leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Simon Ekpa, has slammed those asking him to come to Nigeria rather than stay in Finland and talk about things happening in the country. Nigeria report that Ekpa, who was arrested and questioned by the Finnish police in February 2023 over alleged plans to impose a sit-at-home during the just concluded election, said Igbos who live in Lagos should not tell him to return to Nigeria. According to Ekpa, staying in Lagos and challenging him to return home is the definition of confusion, adding that he is more at home than those in Lagos State. He said, staying in Lagos as a Biafran and challenging me to come home is the definition of confusion. I am more at home than you. You that is in Lagos can't even visit your village. That is what Simon Ekpa told all the people who is demanding him to come back home and stay in the front to fight the battle of Biafran restoration. Ex-minister reacts as prophet predicts P2B not Tinubu will be sworn in as president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The former Minister of State for Works, Senator Dayo Adeyeye, has knocked those hoping for an interim government in Nigeria ahead of the May 29 handover date. He added that those nursing the idea that P2B of the Labour Party will be sworn in instead of President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu are mistaken and should drop the idea. Adeyeye, who is the national coordinator of the Southwest Agenda for Asiwaju, submitted that he and other patriotic Nigerians won't fold their hands but would resist any attempt to truncate the nation's democracy. the Swagger coordinator, submitted that those pushing for an interim government were promoting anarchy. Nigeria News reports, and I quote, he made a submission during an interview with a newsman in which he reacted to a prophecy by Bishop Feyi Daniels, who predicted that Obi and not Tinubu will be sworn in as the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He labeled the prophecy as the noise of people trying to create unrest as well as fake prophecies propelling the so-called obedience. Senator Adeyeye maintained that the February 25th election that produced Tinubu may not be perfect, but it was very good and transparent, making it the best ever to be conducted since 1999. Liars from the pit of hell. He appealed to the politicians against playing the politics of bitterness, urging them to rather embrace the spirit of sportsmanship instead of trying to tear the country apart because they lost an election. A fake pastor was saying Tinubu will be declared winner, an interim government should be formed, and the government will give it to Peter Obi, according to the pastor or the prophet. And I, Dayo Adeyeye, will be a citizen of this country and allow that to happen. We will join forces with others to oppose it, he vowed. That means you people want to set the country on fire. DSS and EFCC and SSS will not hear this one now. This one, he made these comments. He made this admittance at the national TV. Not rating, not tweeting. They will not say anything about this. Listen and listen very carefully what he said. He said, I, Dayo Adeyeye, will be a citizen of this country and allow that to happen. So that means, even if the court ruled that the election was not won by Asuwaju, you people will then cause anarchy in this land. EFCC, what is that his name? Senator, no, Fesut Kiyamo. Come and hear this one. Oh. This one is from APC. You will not hear this. What you will hear is going about now, go to Poknos and carrying fake news here and there. Speaking even when they did not ask you. Shouting to every journalist that come your way. You think that Nigerians are afraid of your shouting? There's the people who can shout more than you. So you better just learn how to be calm, because one day they will slap your mouth very well. Ex-British Prime Minister Boris Johnson visited Nigeria, backs fight against terrorism, banditry, and so on. Former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has backed the Nigerian government in the fight against terrorism and banditry ravaging the northern region. Johnson gave the support while speaking at the 16th Anyam Osigwe Lectures series titled Rehumanizing Human Experience, a synopsis of Anyam Osigwe treatise held at the Marriott Hotel in Ikeja, Lagos. The former United Kingdom leader expressed optimism that Nigeria will defeat banditry and terrorism, and eventually law and order will be restored in the country. Only if UK will leave Nigeria alone for them to handle themselves and manage whatever God has given to them. You also stop interfering in the politics of Nigeria. If you people are so interested about Nigerians and what is happening, Nnamdi Kanu is a British citizen. Till death, no issue, no any alarm have been raised over the ill treatment that the young man is gotten in the DSS dungeon called DSS confinement, where they have kept him for over or getting to 2 years now. The UK government says nothing about it. Can't you see that you people are lying to yourselves? I so much believe in that word of late Muammar Gaddafi. He says, when a Westerner or American tell you they love you, that you should be very, very careful. They don't love you. The only thing they love is the mineral resources in your land. And that's exactly the point. You claim that UK is siding Nigeria to fight against terrorism and banditry. Yet, people are dying on Nigeria on daily basis. Which you people have already know it. This one is attached to politics. And you people are not saying anything other than your British High Commission attached to Nigeria. The woman that is very soon, she will expire, coming out to tell us that the election of 2023 February that produced Bola Ahmed Tinubu is credible, and we should accept it and be proud of it. Now you are here again with your own blah and balabulu. You both should be very, very careful. Johnson stated that the UK is also ready to help Nigeria in the fight against terrorism and banditry, stressing that his country had its own share of terrorism in the past. He said the first and the most important thing that makes a country thrive is that it has to be safe. You have got to have equality under the law, because that is the foundation for freedom. I know some of the problems that are faced in this part of the country, but I know that these bandits and terrorists must and be defeated, and eventually law and order will prevail. I also want you to know that the UK stands ever ready to help. Foul. We in the UK have had our issues with terrorists in the past, and I am proud to say that London is one of the safest cities in the whole world. Wherever you are, you will receive the same scrutiny and protection in the UK, and this is the most important thing. It is a precaution for economic growth, according to Boris Johnson. The next freedom is the right to choose those who govern you and the right to remove them from office. It is called democracy, and it is a precious and under attack the whole time. Why did Vladimir Putin launch his evil attack on Ukraine? It is because he could see that the Ukrainians were choosing a different path. They were going through a different democratic system that he was permitted to the Russian people. By the way, I believe the Ukrainians will win by the way. Why did Putin underestimate the Ukrainian people? According to the news, or according to the speech from former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson. It is because he does not practice a democratic system, and he surrounds himself with the sycophants. He had no democratic checks and balances, according to Boris Johnson. The third and crucial condition for releasing human potential is that you need a society that is an open system. Do you support the kind of election that is being handled in Nigeria? Can that be tolerated in the UK? The answer is no. Then mind your business. Johnson said, credible elections, equality before the law, education, and a good transport system are ways Nigeria can unleash its potentials. The former UK leader lamented a colossal waste of human resources in Nigeria despite its huge potential. He added, the UK has a population of about 66 million and Nigeria has over 200 million and still growing. How many of our people have reached their full potentials? The job of politicians is to create opportunities for people to reach their potential, because not only is that morally right, but it is also the right way for the economy. What we are seeing in both our countries is a colossal waste of human potential, and all my years as mayor of London or British Prime Minister, it has been ways to unleash the talents. Johnson called on Nigeria and the United Kingdom to deepen their partnership, saying the two nations share some similarities, because you have come to seal another deal on how to be siphoning our crude oil. God will never allow you. Not only God self, our Ogun must surely visit you when the time is right. He also called on politicians to allow the people to freely elect those that will govern them. Yet, the aircraft you people stole from Nigeria since how many? 18 something and 1960 something. Germany have returned their own. Now they are asking the UK, return whatever you have stolen or whatever you have taken from Nigeria or from the Benin Kingdom. You people refused. Now you are here preaching to us about morality. Let me not use a word that is so derogatory that a YouTube will start to fight me or fight my account. But my dear, with all due respect, you are talking nyanyampo. You are talking nyanyampo. Nigeria report that the lecture series was attended by the notable dignitaries such as the Deputy Governor of Lagos, Obafemi Hamzat, among others. So my good people, now here we go take care of our kaya, because Now this more news I will bring for us this Wednesday, so that when I go use this one now, come the kulele on our mind, because we still have enough in the stock. I don't want to make the broadcast a long one, so that so people will not get bored listening to my broadcast. That is why I always make it as short as possible as I can. So my good people, if you never subscribe to my channel, please, I want you to do what? Do that as soon as possible. Make sure you turn on the notification button, so that you'll be notified each time I go live or I post something new on this channel or another channel related to Okute Daily Talk. And there's another channel out there. Please go and visit rumble.com. You will also find Okute Daily Talk there. Follow, like, and also share any of my content that you like. Even if you cannot share all, but share anyone that you watch, listen, and you have attracted the wisdom from it. And I saw the thing take be. So my good people, I don't pack my kaya, and I go ahead and go so. Make on enjoy on a Wednesday. On a well done, my people. Bye. May the Almighty God bless us all, the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Bye for now.